What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good. We got Ahmed in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to Albert, Amy, Anna, Andy, Carolyn. Good morning to Cindy, Jeffrey, Joe, JT, Keith. We got Lauren, Malik. Good morning to you. We got Marius, Rob. Good morning to Rock, Fullwood. We got Shane, Tim, all my people out in YouTube land. Good morning to all you. We got Leonard in there first. Oh man, it's usually a competition between Mustafa and Clarice, but Leonard takes the crown today. All right, good morning to all three. You got Kathleen in the chat as well. All my lurkers in the background. They're just not gonna say nothing. It's okay. I still love you. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe buttons. But we got through a big day. We got through a big day. We started with Jerome Powell. No rate cuts. He actually came out to a little bit more of a dovish tune than I think the market was thinking. So, uh, kind of came back to just focusing more on policy as opposed to, I think he was getting a little bit to the political side of things. But, yeah, not a bad uh press conference there. We held the 600. I think we got slightly lower. We dipped down just under. I think we got like 599.50-ish somewhere in that zone yesterday, and then strong looking bounce back. Still closed red for the day on the SPY. Just heading into a whole bunch of a big plate of earnings that we had coming in last night. So we'll get to a bunch of those as well. But uh, and honestly, the earnings weren't like every report almost has something kind of wrong with it. IBM was the strongest one, I think, and it's showing today. So IBM, nice little gap on that one. Otherwise, Tesla had a miss. Meta beat, but then first of all, I don't know what took Meta so long to put out those numbers. I got no idea on that one. But, I think in the history of Meta, they've never put out earnings past 4:20. It was almost like 5 p.m. Eastern. It's very close to 5:45 something. So I don't know what the delay was, but they put out earnings. They did beat on earnings, and then they didn't put out guidance for 2025, which is also a very unusual kind of concept for them. So interesting on that one. And then obviously we got Microsoft, which that one did get initially killed, then it bounced all the way back, and then it's still back to almost that 200. So we'll take a look at that one, see if that's a buy opportunity or not for Microsoft. But for right now, SPY is gapping up higher. I think a little sigh of relief. I'm not sure why you still got Apple tonight coming out, but little sigh of relief. A lot of buy the dipping last night, and then you have I would say resistance is going to come back to this candle on the 28th. That would put me at roughly 604, 604.64. We get past that, we'll probably look at least for this gap fill at minimum, or yeah, I think before Apple, the next real target for retest would take us to the 609.40. My issue with that for today would be you do still have Apple and some other companies still reporting earnings today, and we really got to get past this next level. So stretch target for today, 607.67 with a whole bunch of resistance on the way up into that. The next immediate one after we break would be this 605.36, but we've been there. We've already retested it. So we can get through that. And then as soon as we get to like the 607.38 for a bullish case, that's where things probably start to get a little bit more to the chop side. But opening right into that resistance from 2 days ago, not the best spot. You have some support, 602.62. If we start to lose that, yeah, one more right below it's 602.47. So somewhere in the 602.40 zone probably should be good support. We lose that, we probably feel a little bit more pain in the bearish direction, but you got 598.72 kind of back on the list, maybe one higher, 599.30. So uh tight range. Above all moving averages, everything still looks good. We did survive a big day, so probably a little bit of a sigh of relief in the market, and we'll push forward. We'll see what happens. Yes, there was some companies that did not get the buy the dippers coming in. A couple of them, UPS being one of them. You got the Qs, decent gap up. Again, is this really a retest? Is this really a gap and go? Candle's red. I think bulls you have a decent edge. Opening into one decent resistance, 523.96. I think this is still inside day. I think this is more of a retest than anything. I would see if we get some pullbacks as opposed to just going full bull horns ahead and just charging. I think we could get some kind of a retest. Look for that retest to come into like 522.53. Yesterday's VPOC is all the way at 520.10. I don't really want to see it skid down there. Still a viable spot for support, but if we start breaking through this 521.96, let's see if let's see if this candle with this VPOC that should have been resistance, we are now above it. 521.53 would be a strong support, I would think. Can we get back below there? Possibly. And then we're just using yesterday's support for the SPY and just kind of hanging out until Apple comes in. We will see. All right, we got a couple tickers in here. So the first one I see is UPS. Clarice says Tesla was crazy after hours. Yeah, kind of was. Meta the same thing, just wild moves. But I put an alert this morning on my chart. I was looking to potentially, and I just the way I do my long-term deposits, I deposit kind of once a month into it and then just kind of buy whatever stock I like. But I was looking at this one over here. I probably even mentioned it on the show. I was like, yeah, you know what? UPS might be in a decent position, even though they're struggling a little bit, but definitely a big company. They do have divvies, maybe. And then it started running. I was like, all right, I guess I'll have to look for something else. For now, though, I am looking. I did put on my charts going back to, I believe it was the weekly. So if I'm looking at the weekly charts on this one, if this one could come a little bit lower, and this is why this might still be a decent fade for today. Maybe get some shorts taking some gains potentially, but look for good resistance somewhere around 117.04. Again, this is off the weekly chart, but in this zone, I don't really have much volume holding us up until probably we get into this 107 range, 106.80-ish. So I set an alert for a little bit lower if we end up hitting it. Hopefully, we carry into next month when I got a free deposit again. I'll probably will be looking to add. You're going back to the last candles from June 2020. So essentially, when COVID was around, you're back into the buy spot for that, which is typically good. They do have good divvies. I'm not completely freaking out, but they are. What's concerning is they are cutting some of the Amazon business in half. So we'll see how that plays out. They did beat on earnings per share by 8.64%, missed by 108 million on the revenue side of things. The idea of what they're trying to do is just focus on more profitable things. I'm thinking Amazon probably cuts into a little bit of their most likely they work with Amazon for a very cheap contract, but they're looking to phase. Not really. They didn't say phase them out completely, but cut them in half, and they're already kind of lower volume to what UPS is already doing. So I don't know how that would be good, but then they are focusing on some of the core products, things that make them more money. Maybe that is a good strategy going forward. We'll see. For day trade purpose, again, lots of bulls being trapped. Pretty good looking double bottom. Nice little rampage into earnings right into that 200. And then for today, all those bulls who felt any kind of happiness just feel sad and darkness today. So we'll see what happens. But do we have a little gap fill down here too? Looks like a little gap fill into like 110.21. Yeah, we have what should have been maybe a longer term support. That's all to be taken out. Depends on the way this thing opens. Maybe we get some rally before this bell rings, but you got really 114.56. If we get above that, maybe you have a little bit more bullish buying to 115.24. If you get past that, you have a good move up to like 118.45. Other than that, where we're opening, I think you still have some more room to the downside. So even though this one's lower, I think there's both on the weekly, both on the daily. I think we have some room, at least $4 on the daily to the downside. So I wouldn't mind just continuing to beat this one up a little bit. Let's see what happens. We got a net. A net. Mm, yep, I'm back in like 2020 again. Hold on. Hold on. There we go. So A net, decent gap. Again, two inside day candles, both of them being green. You are opening to a slight little resistance. Um, I don't think I'd want to see this one fully retest into yesterday's VPOC somewhere around 108.29. That would be some type of support. But just opening to that resistance, two bullish days of buying in a row. I do love the fact that this one's being taken out with all that volume. Impressive. I would look for the next support on this one. So give me a little bit of a pullback. Maybe bulls want to try to hang into, get back down to a first spot would be like 111.32 for a pullback, and then maybe into like this 111 zone. Somewhere into there. I think that's enough of a retest into this one. But this should be a gap and go, just opening into some resistance for today. High wave candle, I'll take that one too. So if the bottom of that high wave candle lands us at like 112.40, 112.47, taking the break above that, and maybe all we get is a small little retest, and then we go. This is a lot of volume on that candle, so might be interesting. Let's get this one up here a little bit more. And you do have this gap fill. I don't think this one fills today. I don't know. Stranger things have happened. But 129.01, probably the stretch of all stretching targets. Otherwise, you do have some resistance at each kind of level up. Big resistance, 121.56. You still have this island reversal in place as well. So we'll see if there's a little bit of rebound on this one, but I think you're probably trying to get out for today. 121.78 if it goes that high. And I think in a longer term picture, you probably do end up getting something like that. You get that pullback. And then if we're going to close that gap, maybe after two or three times, something like that, then you start to close this gap and then either that or this, one of the two. But yep, if you could get there for a day trade or swing trade, that's where I would take my initial profits and then probably look to maybe buy the dip for the second time through, or just don't do anything and just move your stops up and see if you can push through it. We got LRCX. So they did report some earnings. They beat by 3 cents, 3.59% past earnings per share. Estimates you came in with 58.58 million higher than expected in revenue. Mm, You don't really have a whole heck of a lot holding you back. I think your next spot would be 82.30. You start getting above that. The next spot for today, 86.11. Ultimately, probably looking for targets around 91.10. I love the fact that all that volume is below us. Um, kind of gap do we have? It is a gap and go, some resistance coming in. Big targets for today, probably 84, 83 would take us up there if we could get there. We're above that 200. All the other moving averages, we probably need to, I think we almost need to chop here for today. Let's get this one higher on the list though. We'll see how this intraday works. I'm on the fence. It is a pretty decent gap and go to the bull side. Even had some of that bearish momentum starting to come in. Those guys are trapped. Interesting location if we can open at 83 or $80.93, and then I guess the first resistance we're looking at is 81.64. So if I think that's where we stop for today, I can't really take this bullish. I don't even think I could take this one bullish just in terms of risk reward to like targets of 82.15. So I would have to be to properly set this trade up, I would have to be thinking 84, 83 is a big potential for today. You're 200, you have a little support. Maybe get that retested to like 80.42. That would give me a much better setup on it. Again, unless I'm thinking this is most likely the case for today and just some resistance ahead of us. So we'll have that on the list. We'll watch it. Definitely bullish gap and go. I don't think I want to be playing it bearish. Tesla, Tessie. So yeah, let's check out these earnings. This is you would expect a company that has a miss of 4 cents, so earnings per share miss of 5.73, miss on revenue by 1.55 billion, so that's 5.69%. You would expect this one to be gapping up for sure. I don't I mean that is economics 101. Miss on everything. The one thing that saved him is and he's a phenomenal cheerleader for the company. But Elon Musk. Elon Musk. So even if you saw the after hours and you guys are already saying like, yeah, this thing was wild yesterday. Very, very high valuations on a company. Got absolutely murdered. You can't really at these valuations, you don't even want to come in with like a meet the expectations, never mind a miss. Very, very tough to go up. But when you got somebody like Elon Musk coming in, and the entire story is the robots. He gave us some interesting Elon facts, I guess, where he was saying essentially that the robots are going to be. He thinks that's going to drive Tesla's valuation to. I think he said uh, he thinks Tesla will be about 10 times the valuation of the next like five companies below him, something like that. Whatever his exact phrase was. So he's putting a high valuation on the robots. He also said production is going to be starting on some of the robots. I think the first 7,000 he's just going to use in the factory. So I don't know. Every time he says it, kind of reminds me of like Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory. So he's going to have like a bunch of like Oompa Loompas kind of working, and then eventually there's going to be no people, and there's just Elon Musk will give tours eventually based on golden tickets. I'm assuming. But we'll see what happens. So the first couple, or first couple thousand robots, which I think he said was coming out this year, and they're going to start tasks in the factory. They're going to start to be able to monitor the robots, be able to kind of improve the robots, and then he's slating for, I think, the factory to make like 1,000 a month, and then scale it to like 10,000 a month, and eventually get to the point of 100,000 robots being produced every single month, which would be insane. And then he threw a timeline where he goes, "Yeah, I would really love to see production be made beginning of 2026, but let's be more realistic and let's give it to like half the year." So, we'll push that timeline, but I'd love to see it. I don't think people were expecting the robots for like 2, 3 years, maybe. So even that is still aggressive. He's been tough on some of the timelines where he's not really delivered on the time frame, but the products are usually pretty good. So we'll see what happens. But really, really good move. I'm actually interested in buying some call options on Tesla if we get a pullback, just because the momentum is insane. We are holding this 395 level. I think we were worried about the earnings. I think rightfully so. I think the market called the earnings, and then I don't know how you just miss out on, like, Elon's going to pump it. But holding great, great support. If we can get some kind of pullback, which we have some resistance up at 410. I think if this thing gets down to like this 395 zone again, that would be an interesting spot to go long. I'm not even opposed. We'll see what the candle set up, but I'm not opposed to day trading this long today as well. You're right in that 20, so I'm hoping we get a pullback, but we'll play it by ear. I think you're gonna get the momentum in there. I think everybody likes to hear the number 10x. Lydia says he's such a good speaker and convincing. I know. Because he hasn't like you could hate Elon, you could hate Tesla, you could hate everything, but you can't say that he hasn't built some solid companies and crazy innovations, and like I think that you have to take him. But we've seen the story over and over with like the Cybertruck. Yeah, it's gonna come out tomorrow, and then it's like 3 years later we finally get the Cybertrucks on the road. But when they come out, they're crazy. So I don't know. Yeah, Marvel. Also good gap on this one. Pretty decent move. This one looks a lot like A. Was it ANET? This looks exactly the same like ANET. Was it ANET? Yeah, it looks exactly like ANET. So two inside day candles, opening into a resistance. We'll see if this one fades again. Real support on this one will be 106.79. If this gap does not fill today, you now have an island reversal in a bullish direction on this one. So this chart's going to start to look a little bit sloppy. This entire move, although it's a little stretched out, it's got the island reversal type feel to it. This would be a pure one if we stay in here. First support on this one, and you do have 2 days of buying, so I think we get a pullback. I don't think it's a huge one. I don't think we get back down to this 105, probably at least immediately. And then, but look for some kind of support. First one, 110.81-ish. Then I got the next one at 109.29. Maybe I'll let that one see if that one comes in. Gets us a little closer to this retrace. And then really good support comes from back here. December 10th, that's also the very top of his candle. That was our previous resistance, but again, not going to be buying at open. I don't want to short this one. Same thing as ANET. I don't want to be the shorter of it, but at the same time, it's got some room to the downside. I'm hoping for a very small move, not a big move. That would strengthen the case for the bull direction, but also that's why I can't short it. There's not enough room if I think I'd really want a small move, rather play it bullish. Really, really good gap on it. You got CRM, we got Unity. Let's see. Cash for House says, DJ, the real question is, did you order the Tesla robots? Not only did I order the Tesla robots, the only job I gave that Tesla robot is to order more Tesla robots. So he's just on the phones all day, that guy. He's gonna be incredible when he gets here. I got him just he's using SoundHound for AI voice messages and stuff. It's crazy. We got CRM. That one is gapping down. No earnings on this one. Here's why this is 1 day ago. No, 15 hours ago. So here's why Salesforce.com fell more than broader market. Company coming in today shares of customer management software development game, blah, 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 blah. Investors will be eagerly watching the Salesforce. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of words. Elementary school did not prepare me for that. I don't know, but you have a gap down and into a little. I would have liked to see this one hold a little bit better. The fact that we're opening, at least what it looks like, underneath 343.44 and 342.60. I think you have a short on this one. Depends on where this thing opens. It's already kind of gapping around a little bit. Into a little bit of a zone for support. I think your better spot is if you get some bulls to buy this thing up. I might play a fade on this one. This one might be a fadeable. I think maybe a quick fade up into targets of like 348.24. Again, all depending on where this thing actually opens. Then I think you have your little pullback zone, and then ultimately I think targets to the short side. If we're opening how we look now, I think high wave candle to the downside. Look for like support around 335, 40-ish. Not sure, but kind of no man's land. I don't think it's very strong today. And maybe I won't play this fade actually. Yeah, I'll look to see if this one gets bought up and then look to fade it. See if this one could stop out at like not stop out, but get to 344.28, maybe a decent spot for some kind of look to short at that point. After that Will Smith movie, AI what is it? I was a robot, I think, right? There's no way I'm buying a robot. I don't care. Yeah, but Sonny was the nice robot. Maybe Elon's just making a bunch of nice Sonnies. I have feelings. You're like, what? No, no, no. You're a robot guy. All right, let's see. AMD we have on the list. AMD was gapping up. Is it still gapping up? Just can't get there. Oh yeah, pre-market 118.26. So good gap on this one, strong gap on this one. Still looking for bullish momentum. We had targets into about the 119 zone. That did not hit. That might hit today. Still inside day candle though. Would not be shocked to say the least if you have a little resistance at yesterday's high, 118.49-ish. Maybe inside day candle, you get this kind of fade. I would look for some kind of support right around this 117.04 if we could get it. So probably best to not go high wave candle. I would play though. This is a good candle with good volume. Good candle, good volume. First target again, 119. So that's a little troublesome. Otherwise, 119.94 we could see today as well. So we'll see. We'll see how this one opens. I'm not loving the fact that we are still inside day candle. We got 4 minutes, and this is still on the move. And above all of that breakdown candle, all of that volume, this looks a little bit more trappy. I thought for sure we were going to see lower pricing after this candle came in, that close. And now we're starting to break out. 3-bar reversal. You got earnings on the 4th. Probably longer term target. I'm not sure if we could hit that today, but 122.83 into earnings would be fantastic. fill that gap up and then just kind of go from there. But we'll see. APP. If you down with APP, yeah, you know me. App 11. That's a good one. Great location. Again, it is a little bit of a retest gap. You got 3 days of buying. TTM Squeeze is actually pushing bullish on this one. Uh, I, I would be cautious because it is a retest gap. Great location though. So if we could stay where we are now at open, we hang out, even come down, small little retest at like 374.73. I think I would be looking to buy it long going into like 393.72. Scares me a little bit on this one is that it is a retest. So if we start breaking that down, be more patient, wait for this retest of 364.73 and then we go. But for right now, great opening location if we could hold it, if we could hang in there. DraftKings is above 42. May look to play that. Let's see. Yeah, you've been watching that 42 zone since the Mark Sanchez butt fumble. Actually, it was you've been looking at that for a while. Uh, yeah, that's a really good candle too. I like that one. Nice inside resting candle. Momentum's been good. Super Bowl 2 weeks away, less than. Uh, and you got 42.92. I think would be your target on that one. That looks decent though. Maybe get a tiny pullback. See if support comes in, 42.32. So 4 penny pullback and then kind of look to go. Otherwise, that looks pretty phenomenal too. All right, let's see. I think I missed a few of them. Let's see. Let's see. Unity software. Unity. It's building some pressure. I like this one a lot, actually. Good TTM squeeze above all moving averages. Looks phenomenal. Look for that resistance. I'd almost want to play this one like 23, 24, something like this. Earnings coming out soon too, I think, though, too, if I'm not mistaken. Earnings are coming out the today. Is it today? Today's the 30th already. We're almost through January. That's no, stop it. Yeah, earnings today. I don't have if it's after the bell, so I'm not sure if they're out yet, and we don't have the update yet on TradingView, or if that's after the bell today. But if earnings have come out on this one, it's been pretty mild to say the least. So just double check what time those earnings come out. It doesn't look like anything happened, so it's either, I don't know, maybe sometime today or after the bell. I'm not sure. But just be aware of that before getting into the trade, just so you know your timeline on things. Looks pretty phenomenal. I wouldn't mind trying like a 23-24 zone, even throwing a stop today, 22-24, good risk to reward. But that is the morning opening bell. So everybody at YouTube land, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe buttons. I apologize if I didn't get to your tickers. I tried really hard. But there's a lot going on today, a lot happening. Otherwise, all you guys out on YouTube land, hit that like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys later.